Hey guys, it's CWHD here, and today we're going to be looking at glitches that still work in Bowser's Fury, the Switch add-on for the port of Super Mario 3D World. This little addition is a blast to play, and I love the direction they took with it. It almost feels like an Odyssey DLC world or something. But anyway, this game has a good amount of glitches I want to show off within it, including some that came over from 3D World. Getting out of bounds, locking the camera upside down, and holding invisible cats. All that and more on this episode of Game Breakers, so let's jump right in. Let's kick this off with one of my personal favorite glitches this game has, getting the camera locked. All we need to do this is a golden pipe and the ability to warp on the map. This is done by collecting 45 cat shines and beating Fury Bowser for the third time. Locate a golden pipe, which are all over the map, and I'm using the one near Fort Flaptrap. Enter the golden pipe and leave. We don't really need to do anything in this room, it more matters what happens after. When Mario is exiting the pipe though, pull up your map and warp to any location. It doesn't matter where, just pick a place you want to lock the camera in. Here's the important part. While you're warping, hold any direction on the right stick. Again, doesn't matter which direction, just point the right stick somewhere after confirming the warp. When the transition ends, you'll be at the new spot, but the camera will not follow Mario. You're now able to run around all over the place while the camera stays here. It's very cool to see, as you can get some scenic shots of the level. I did it a couple times in different areas and just messed around. One quick thing you gotta note is to not jump on Plessie in any circumstance while doing this glitch. The game doesn't know how to handle it and just crashes. But if you think this looks weird, just wait till Fury Bowser spawns. For some reason, Bowser spawning causes the locked camera to rotate around on a circle. You'll see it go about a quarter of the way around each time Bowser spawns, and each time Bowser stomps, it'll shift a little bit too. If you stick around for a while and a few cycles, you can watch it do a full loop around, but just looks ridiculous the whole time. I'm basically upside down at this point, and it can get very hard to control. The left stick doesn't really match up with Mario anymore, so it's just really hard to even maneuver and stay within view of the camera. It's also scary when Bowser spawns in, as you can't really see where he is, so flames just come blasting through when you least expect it. I had to use a bunch of power-ups just to stay alive long enough to make the camera fully rotate. But yeah, I personally love glitches like this, as we get to see the game from an angle we were never really supposed to. Alright, moving on to an out-of-bounds clip you can do pretty early on in the game. On Furstep Island, which is the first area of the game, there's a big old boat. Come over to the left-hand side and find this ledge near the other side of the railing. It's the first closest little cannon port to the land. Stand underneath the little Bowser logo here and begin running at the wall. You'll notice Mario sort of stutters already, and after a little more wiggling, you can just clip right through the ship. Out of bounds looks pretty neat in this game, as there's a lot of random jagged textures still visible from the inside. Not really a lot you can do in here though, as there's nothing to stand on or grab. But there is this nice glitchy black wall that causes this. It almost keeps and duplicates textures that pass over it, and can also just display these pixelated messes. It's a very weird effect that I've seen while out of bounds in some other games, and I'm not entirely sure how it works. We'll see this black wall more throughout some of the other glitches we do, so don't worry. Here we got a funny graphical glitch involving a cat. Head over to the Wasteland Giga Bell and find a cat to grab. We now need to head over to the enemy free-for-all switch that's down in the corner here. We want to activate the switch while grabbing the cat. To do this, crouch while holding the cat to drop it on the switch. Now quickly ground pound and hold Y so you grab the cat while the switch is activating. When the cutscene is playing out, let go of Y and you'll notice Mario is stuck in his holding animation, but the cat is gone. The battle will start and now you can just run around while Mario does this. I don't know why, but it's very funny to me. Defeating the enemies can be tricky while in this state, as I wanted to avoid taking damage, but I still wanted to do it. You can keep the effect outside the minigame so you can get a better look at it. I guess the game got tricked into thinking we were still holding the cat, but it got despawned after hitting the switch. Something weird happened to me while I was running around out here. After getting a good ways away from the switch, the cat respawned back in Mario's hands. I didn't think I'd see the cat again, but This whole thing is a fun effect you can get, but it can only be done here at the Wasteland Giga Bell. You need a cat, as the other objects you can grab in the game cannot be placed down on the switch, and the enemy free-for-all switches are the only ones that work. The platforming ones do not, unfortunately. Maybe there's another spot I'm forgetting about, but I'm pretty sure this is the only location. So this is probably the easiest out of bounds trick in the game. It takes place at Clawswipe Colosseum near the front entrance. In order to do the glitch, we need to break some of the blocks in this opening. So either hop in a Koopa shell or chuck a bomb at it, as we need these two blocks destroyed. With the blocks broken, begin jumping at the corner between the opening and the front of the wall. For some reason, the collision doesn't fully connect, so Mario can squeeze in between and out of bounds. Like the last one, you'll be swimming in water, but this time you're limited to the ring of the Colosseum. There's walls on both sides you can easily swim through, so you gotta be careful to swim in a big circle. But yeah, if Bowser comes, you can dodge all of his flames without a worry in the world, and get to see the back of these platforms that spawn in. They look very weird from this angle. You can use the out of bounds to jump back into one of these rooms, like the one holding a cat shine that I already collected unfortunately. But yeah, you could just jump into one of these little rooms and grab the shine. I think you'd have to save and reset after though, as the blocks are still here. Other than that though, there's not much else you can do in here. If you position the camera just between the walls, you can get the glitchy black wall effect again. It creates some very messed up textures as you can see, but it's still cool to look at. Sticking with Clawswipe Colosseum, there's one other glitch we can do in here, but we need a new save. This fling pole on top of the Colosseum can cause some glitchy effects when you first load it into the game's memory. When you reach this island for the first time, defeat the first two bosses so the Colosseum itself raises up to the red level. Now make your way back up to the entrance one more time and find these blocks in the doorway. Instead of trying to break them, climb up using a cat suit. Since you haven't technically seen the top of the Colosseum yet, a fling pole just loaded into memory, and for some reason it causes Mario to warp up to the pole immediately. I'm guessing we're on the same vertical plane here, and the fling pole being loaded caused the game to glitch a little and think Mario's position was near on the newly rendered pole. Regardless, it's a weird effect that looks really cool to pull off in-game. I don't believe this glitch works unless you got here in a new save. If you try to do it after beating the area, it won't teleport you. Since Bowser's Fury is an add-on to Mario 3D World, it's only natural some of the glitches work in both games. One of the best physics glitches, ice crouching, works in Bowser's Fury too. Basically, all you have to do is find a patch of ice, run in a direction, and begin mashing crouch over and over. For some reason, this stacks Mario's speed and allows you to shoot out with some pace. The only patch of ice I found was big enough to really get anything to happen was outside of Crisp Climb Castle. But combining the glitch with a propeller block allows you to carry them off the island, like to this ship over here. If there was more ice in the game, you could do a whole lot more with this glitch, but sadly, there's not a whole lot here. You could still get up there in speed, but with a bigger patch, we could easily fly around the whole world. Try this one out in 3D World 2, because it's a lot of fun. A very cool feature of Bowser's Fury is the item bar, where at any time you can just hit up on the D-pad and select a power-up to give yourself. It's very handy, but can also be used to softlock the game. Wait until Fury Bowser is about to spawn in, with the rain falling and such. Just as the screen turns white, press up on the D-pad. This brings up the item menu, but also freezes the game on this screen. The game itself normally pauses when you bring up the menu, but since the screen is white, we can't see anything, including the item menu. You can stay on this white screen as long as you want, but when you want to unpause the game, simply press up on the D-pad again. This will close the item menu and Bowser will go back to being angry. This also works in the same fashion when he leaves. Wait for the screen to flash, up on the D-pad, and boom, frozen game. Moving on to one of the more versatile glitches, Plessie clipping. By using Plessie's dive and hopping off at the right time, we can get out of bounds in a handful of areas. Up first, Fort Flaptrap. There's a Plessie spawn right next to the dock that we're going to do the glitch at. Go on the left side of the dock next to this first pole in the middle section. Begin diving down in the little corner we have, and if you have the angle just right, dismount and Mario will pop on the inside of the dock. From this point, you can just swim over to the fort and underneath the lava. I guess the lava is really just water with a kill trigger floating on top, but it looks really cool either way. There are a few small openings and crevices you can view from out here too, or go all the way back across to this little small island. It's all connected through the dock with no collision, so you can move around a good bit. The next spot you can do this at is Pounce Bounce Isle. Take Plessie back to this stone wall and do a similar technique of diving and dismounting. If you get it right, you can stand in this rectangle block, but there's not as much to do as the last one. You might be able to use the spring here to boost into the shine room, but I'm not 100% sure. This spot isn't as exciting, so let's move on to the last location. We're back at the Wasteland Giga Bell, but getting Plessie up here can be a bit of a pain. I just used a slanted clear pipe over here with some careful jumps. Once you're up, head over to this footprint with a shine pedestal on the side. Wedge yourself into this claw mark and do the same dive and dismount. Mario will end up inside the extra patch of water, but swim too far away and you'll fall below and onto the regular water level. Here we can see some pretty cool views like all the jagged textures and our good friend, the black glitched wall. This spot seems to be the best for looking at these walls, as one allows you to go completely inside of it, so it just looks like Mario is in a black void. There's a few other things to note like the secret tunnel with the cat bell, but there's not really any shines to collect out here sadly. There may be other locations this Plessie clip works on, but for now these are the only ones we know of. Since we're already at the Wasteland Giga Bell again, let's do one more glitch here. It involves the free-for-all battle switch again, but we do not need a cat this time. Just defeat the enemies like normal, but don't collect the shine just yet. Save these POW block lines during the fight and come over to them once you defeat everybody. We want to have Mario smash his head perfectly in the middle of these two blocks, the POW block and one of the brown blocks. If you hit it in just the right spot, collect the shine, and restart the free-for-all, the block will be glitched out. The block will be frozen shifted upwards like it got hit, but will not break. You can just run over to it and see that the collision is still in the regular place, so Mario can just stand inside of it. Funny enough, this glitch lasts way longer than I was expecting. I left the area, fought Bowser, died, fast traveled, and after coming back again, the block was still out of place. So it could be a cool effect to just keep in your game for the long run, as it doesn't go away until you break it yourself. This glitch is very unique as you can't really do it in any other game. Cat diving as different power-ups. You're probably aware, as Cat Mario you can do this little dive move, but it does not work with any other power-up. Well, by using that item menu we looked at earlier, we can cheese it a little bit. Find a tall thing to stand on top of, as we want to make the glitch last as long as possible. Now just stand near the edge facing it, jump up in the air, press up on the D-pad while in the air to bring up the item menu, select a different item to spawn, and then begin your dive off the edge. Due to this sequence of events, the item doesn't catch back up to Mario until he's mid-air doing a cat dive. So when the item activates, Mario is already in the dive and won't break out of it. Now we can dive as a Tanuki, as a Hammer Bro, and as anything else. This effect will last until you either hit the ground, or fall for too long that the game switches Mario into a normal fall. You can do this anywhere in the world, but tall things give the best results. It's just weird to see Mario go from a cat dive into a Tanuki flutter. I got one last out of bounds clip here, but trust me when I say it's not too exciting. At the Ruins Giga Bell, you can clip into the stairs here. Get Mario into this corner and do a rolling long jump at it. Sometimes you won't bonk, which means that you're on the right track. Eventually Mario will clip inside this little crack, and if you continue to shimmy around slowly by walking, Mario will fall down into a lower level, slightly more out of bounds. You can poke your head out from the inside, but again, not a lot of room to mess around with. Like, there is literally nothing to do besides stick your head out. You'll clip back into the regular world pretty quickly, but hey, not every glitch can be a winner. If you thought that glitch was lame, here's an even worse one I found myself. Fort Flaptrap has these red-blue flipping panels that change each time you jump. Well, if you grab the Giga Bell, turn Jumbo, and visit the fort now, jumping does not change the small panels. They just stay on blue the whole time. Very disappointed and broken game. Well, there you have it. Glitches in Bowser's Fury. I loved this little addition they added to 3D World. It felt like a mixture of Mario Galaxy and Odyssey or something. I kind of forgot to play it when it first came out, so playing through this for the first time a few weeks ago was a blast. I'd highly recommend it to anyone if you're craving a new Mario experience. Let me know if there's any other games you want to see me cover in the comments, but for now, I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, see ya!